All right, guys. I don't know if I am live, but I guess we will see, right? And if for any reason, I think it is working. If for any reason there are technical difficulties and you are unable to watch me live, I think it is working. So if anybody is in the chat box with me, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, a smile, something, just to let me know that we're no longer having technical difficulties, which happens to me every stream. I don't know why. It's just my luck. So thank you so much, guys, for being here with me tonight. I think one of the purposes for this video is really just to, or I should say this live chat, is really just to reach out to you guys and, kind of give you some more understanding of what it's like to feel alone. And I'm sorry, I'm moving around everything here, guys. But I think, the purpose of tonight's live is just to kind of say, Thanksgiving is coming up and, things are happening for a lot of people in various places, and it can feel just a little overwhelming. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to fix this because my OCD is kicking in. I'm so sorry. Don't know what's going on here. I really don't. But we're going to try to make this work as always. So, but I feel like a lot of people are going through a lot. I think that's it. Around this time, there's a lot of loss. There's a lot of change. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of disappointment in the world today. But what seems to make it a little more difficult, I think, is just the simple fact that, sometimes we have to make the decision to separate from our family, and sometimes we have to make the decision, to kind of part ways with them so that we can maintain our sanity and so that we can maintain our stability and our balance. And unfortunately, that's a decision that a lot of my clients have had to make. That's a decision that, I've made in the past. And I think that's also a decision that a lot of people who consult with me have had to make. It's a pretty depressing reality, but it is something that a lot of us have to do. So tonight's very brief. I think it's going to be about 25 minutes or so live chat. I hope will give you some understanding of kind of, where you need to be. How can you be okay with being alone within your family? I had somebody ask me, are you going to do another video like I did? I'm going to post it in the description box so you can go back and check it out. But the video was learning to be okay with being alone in your family. And so I thought, I think I'm going to do another one. There's a lot of you who contact me by email, on Twitter. Some of you even contact me on Instagram, no matter how dead that is, because I'm just building it up. And you're asking me, can you do more about existential psychotherapy? Can you do a little bit more about, what it's like to be alone? And so I said, absolutely. I think I'll do that before Thanksgiving. So let's jump into that. Okay, I feel like I've rambled enough. Let me just define what existentialism is, and I will be answering comments and questions, and I will be responding to you in the comment section. So let me just explain to you what existentialism is. Okay, so what's called a theoretical orientation, which is basically, my philosophical and my spiritual view of life as a therapist. Okay, we all have, those of us who are in the field, we all have a theoretical orientation. Mine tends to be a combination, I think, of three things. One is cognitive behavior therapy, which basically says, that sometimes the way that we think and we perceive reality can sometimes be a little skewed. And if that's the case, and if we are looking at our situations from a skewed perspective and a little bit of a twisted way, for lack of a clinical term, then it's possible that we are depressing ourselves, that we are trapping ourselves emotionally, that we are creating our own prisons because of how we perceive reality. And so, that's cognitive behavior therapy. But then my other theoretical orientation is play therapy, because I work a lot with families and children and teens. But then the most important part of my development as a therapist is existentialism, okay? Existentialism is the idea that we all exist in this life, and we all exist in a way that can be a little confusing, it can be a little rocky, it can be a little discouraging, it can be a little up and down. Sometimes we don't know where we belong. Sometimes our meaning feels a little shallow. Sometimes, we're struggling with internal conflicts of our own that we can't easily just get over or heal or remedy or rectify. And so existentialism, basically says this: living is a problem in and of itself. That's existentialism. Living is a problem in and of itself, right? Just the fact that we get up every day and we live and we breathe, and sometimes we don't know which way to go, is existentialism. It's living in a world where we have to constantly look for meaning. We're trying to understand who we are, why we're here, right? We're constantly up here trying to make some kind of sense, and inside of here make some kind of sense of our lives. So that's existentialism, okay? So I'm sure you noticed just a little bit of that in my channel as you watch the videos. Now, I am going to go ahead and comment here, because I see a lot of you are already commenting. I'm going to say hello at Raven Castle. I hope I got that right. At The Right Group SEO, and I don't know if I have this right. I don't know if I'm going to be able to say this. It's CCLEO3590. Hello, and I'm going to say welcome to the chat. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. Let me jump into some things that you need to be thinking about as you try to work through being alone this holiday, and as you try to work through being alone within your family. Now, I know I talk about this a lot on the channel, but I think family is a beautiful thing. I just want to throw that out there again. I think it's a wonderful thing, but I think it's wonderful only when it's healthy, only when it's appropriate, only when it's functional. It's when it's dysfunctional, unhealthy, abusive, neglectful, and traumatic that family becomes the issue. And so then you're standing inside your family trying to figure out, do I leave them? Do I stay? Do I put some distance and go back? Do I pause our communication? Just what do I do? And so a lot of you have contacted me behind the scenes, and I've talked to a lot of you on the phone and through consultations and Zoom. And the one thing that I hear from all of you, from most of you, the ones that I talk to, those of you who follow me on the channel, is how do I be okay with being alone? How do I be okay with being alone within my family? I don't want to separate, but I have. I don't want to separate, but I feel like I need to. So how do I be okay with that? So there's a couple of things that I want you to keep in mind, and I'm going to post in the description box some videos that I've done on this particular topic. Thank you so much, guys, for commenting. Hello, Felicia Share. Welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for coming. So there's a couple of things I want you to keep in mind. One is existential loneliness. Now let me define what this is. So existential loneliness basically says this, that you are feeling lonely at the depths of your heart and your soul. And that is because it's a detachment, right? You feel like you are detached from, I'll put it that way, detached from the nature of existence. You don't feel like you have any grounding, any firm foundation. You're just kind of floating through life trying to figure it out, okay? That is existential loneliness. It's a lack of meaning. I have no ground. I have no foundation, nothing. I'm just kind of here, and I'm trying to figure it all out, and I'm trying to grasp for some kind of meaning, right? Thank you so much for the heart, Felicia Share. I see that. Thank you. And, existential loneliness, I think, is something that we all can experience. But I think those who are struggling with dysfunctional families, abusive families, traumatic families, they experience existential loneliness a whole lot more than we think they do. It's that feeling of being detached, You may also have family, and you may also be surrounded by family, but feel so far away from them. For example, I had a family see me last year. They were a beautiful family of 10 guys, 10 children, and they all ranged in age. It was beautiful, lovely, lovely family from India. And one of the things one of the things that I noticed in this particular family was, you know, even though they were a family of 10 children plus 2 adults, so I guess you could say a family of 12, I realized that they were very lonely. Every last one of them, and they all ranged from ages 5 to 30. The oldest kid was 30, and they all felt lonely. They all felt detached. They all felt sad. They all felt, you know, just depressed. And that's why they came to see me, because they couldn't understand, how do we have this big family and yet we're feeling so very detached from each other? And one of the things I told them is that I think you're struggling with existential loneliness. It's that detachment from a sense of meaning, a sense of connection, and a sense of purpose. Now, you know, the next concept that I kind of want you to think about is, you know, existential aloneness. And I talk a lot about that in the video I'm going to put in the description box, at the end of this live chat. So that you can go back and see that. But existential aloneness is similar to existential loneliness. The difference with existential aloneness is that, you know, I'm feeling all alone in the world. I'm not necessarily feeling lonely. I just feel like I'm the only one who gets this, or I'm the only one who experiences this, or I'm the only one who is in these shoes, okay? When you are suffering from existential loneliness and existential aloneness, you are very dependent on the rise and the fall of relationships. Here's what I mean. That you feel so detached and so all alone that your happiness is dependent upon the stability of the relationship that you're in. So if your family is going well, you're not lonely. If your family is excited and you guys are clicking and getting along and bonding, you're excited about life, nothing's wrong, you don't feel lonely, you don't feel all alone. So existential aloneness and loneliness for most people really does fluctuate, because you depend on the rise and the fall of that relationship. You depend on whether it succeeds or whether it fails, okay? Let me pause here, guys. I'm going to answer some of these comments in the chat box. I see you at the right group. Explain to me what the face is for. Let me know so I can address it in this video. I love it. Let me look at this. So Felicia Share says, growing up in foster care, I learned how to paint a face. I'm not quite sure I'm understanding. So clarify that for me just a little bit. Somebody's asking me, I think this is as Ava 17, your thoughts on Jehovah's Witnesses and their shunning policy. I will touch maybe on that at a later time. I'm going to say hello at Searching for Truth. Thank you so much for being here. Some of us are alone because everyone else has passed away. Absolutely. So that is Searching for Truth that left that chat, or that comment, I'm sorry, in the chat box. So let me throw this out here, guys. I've had a very long day, so I'm sorry that I keep stuttering. I've been seeing clients all week, so I saw a total of 60 people this week. So I apologize if I'm stuttering and mixing my words, okay? Be merciful to me. So Searching for Truth says, some of us are alone because everyone else has passed away. And I very much agree with that. My family, for example, I'll self-disclose. I think that kind of builds our connection when you know a little bit about me. My family is basically detached. Okay. My grandmother was that super glue. She was that super glue between myself, my extended family, my mother and her brother. And, you know, the only people who are interconnected right now in my family are my brothers, my mother, and his family, my brother's family, his wife, children, things like that. But when we go to my extended family, we're all distant, because when my grandmother passed away last April, my family was already going through a separation because, you know, they're just not healthy. Not all of my extended family, but just a select few. And so when my grandmother passed away, you know, our family kind of spread apart even further with some of my extended family members. And I do think that when somebody passes away, and this is another existential issue of kind of feeling alone. When somebody passes away, the family just separates, you know? It's like that person, especially if it's a grandmother or a mother or a great aunt who kind of held the family together. When they die, the whole family just separates, you know? And, you know, unfortunately, you know, it's hard to really reel that in and get close again. So the family ends up separating. So, unfortunately. So I agree with that, searching for truth. Thank you for that. So, let me go back to the chat box here. I'm going to look at, some of this. I'm not quite sure what's going on with one of the comments, but I think that there's a person I'm probably going to have to remove from the chat, or at least put you in a timeout, because this is not making any sense. So I am not going to look at that, guys. And yes, absolutely, Natalie, that is what I'm doing right now. Thank you so much for that. I am. Thank you very much. The right group. Yes, guys. Yes, block them. Thank you, Natalie. You guys are amazing and wonderful. I have already hit the block button on them, so they are done. So, you know, there's always a narcissist or a slick, sly creature in the mist. So I'm sorry about that, but I did get them. Thank you so much. And thank you, Felicia Share. I love that. So let's keep going, guys. Okay. So, I want you to kind of also think about, you know, something known as kind of like this emotional void that you may feel being without your family this holiday season. I think there's 3 things that you need to keep in mind. One is kind of like this existential loneliness, which we just talked about. So you know very much what that is. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Queen E. So sweet of you. Thank you, Natalie. I love it. Thank you so much. You guys are wonderful. There's always a sneaky demon in the details somewhere. So thank you so much for that. I love that you guys are so on it. So thank you. So let me get back to this, because I want you guys to have this information. So there's another, oh yeah, I see that. I really do. So let me remove, and we're gonna block them right before they you know, get started. Thank you, Evie. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes, it is a troll, Natalie. It's so hard to believe. Let me just say this before I get back to the video, that, you know, for mental health channels, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but on my channel, I don't approve any comments right away. I always monitor them, because so many ugly, disgusting things have been said on my channel, on other mental health professionals' channels. So there's a reason why you guys may not see your comment pop up right away when you comment, and that's just because I have the whole channel on moderation. So so I am monitoring now. I'm so grateful for you guys for monitoring in the comments. Thank you so much for that. So let's not even give them any more attention, right? Because that's what they want. So so I want you to think of existential loneliness. That's what we just talked about at the beginning. But I also want you to think about something known as emotional loneliness, and that's basically kind of like this internal feeling that thank you very much, the right group. I just saw that. Thank you. That's you know, kind of like this sense of no one is around you, right? So you have like this deep emotional void. Thank you, Felicia Share. I see that. And you know, you're feeling just emotionally empty. And you know, don't be surprised if you're going through the holiday this year and you're feeling emotionally empty and void. Because I think we've been through a lot over the past 2 years with COVID and loss and grief and all of that, and our dysfunctional families and all of these things happening. So don't be surprised if you start feeling kind of lonely on the inside. That's from an existential view, that's called emotional loneliness. There's also social loneliness, and that's when you're out in the world and you're shopping during the holiday and you're in the mall and you're doing everything that you think you should be doing for the holiday, but somewhere on the inside, you still feel void. You still feel alone. You still feel depressed. You still feel isolated, no matter who's around you. Okay, so those are the 3 kinds of loneliness that I want you guys to kind of keep in mind. Existential loneliness, right? This lack of grounding. I feel like I'm not grounded in life. I feel like I'm just kind of floating through. Emotional loneliness, right? Which is that deep-seated, I feel alone. I'm lonely. I need somebody in my life. And then third, the social loneliness. I'm around lots of people and yet I still feel depressed. So let me go back to the comment box, and then I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to manage this, and we will wrap up. Okay. You guys are wonderful. I could sit here with you all night long and do this. That's how much I like you guys. but we all have to go to bed at some point. So the right group says, kind of my feeling right now. Absolutely. I'm so sorry about that. I think that, I hope that you can kind of, feel some sense of like home and love and compassion and support from my channel while you go through this period. I wish I had something like that so many years ago when I realized I had some extended family members who weren't healthy. I wish I had a channel like mine and like so many others who are on here supporting. So the right group, I hope you feel supported by my channel. That kind of helps your heart as you go through this current time. Now, somebody else, I think it was Ava, at the very, somewhere where that troll came in, she says, hi, Tamara, does your family watch your videos? You know what? I think they do. And, my brother, he's so busy. He works for the government. He's so busy that I don't think he can ever watch my videos. Plus, I don't think he wants me to psychoanalyze him because that probably wouldn't go well. LOL. But, I think he does check in like every now and then. I know my mom does. My younger brother does. And I think sometimes, my extended family may pop in every now and then. So, but I'm family to them. So like my opinion doesn't matter as much as my opinion matters to you for some reason. I'm really bitter about that. I really am. Gypsy Julie says your validation has really helped in my healing. Oh, thank you so much. And I'm so glad to hear that. One of the reasons I do this channel and I do these videos is because I like connecting with people who need people. I like connecting with people who need people. I'm an introvert. I don't like to communicate. I don't like to talk. I don't like to party or socialize, but I like you guys and I like all my clients and my patients who come in. So I hope that this channel can continue to be a supportive community for all of you. And I just saw Slim Dusty say love to everyone. Thank you, Slim Dusty. So sweet of you. Love your comments on the channel. You've been a long time supporter for sure. And so has Gypsy Julie, the right group, SEO. You are coming into it as well. You're just such a supporter. Thank you, Felicia Share, and all the rest of you. Now, let me go back to Evie says, I'm struggling with this. She says, I'm making major changes and the family support would help, but they are gone completely. She says they are toxic, so expecting them to be positive is kind of silly, I guess. Not at all, not silly at all. If I'm understanding your comment correctly, Evie, I don't think it's silly. I think you are a human being who needs someone. And unfortunately, your family, if they are toxic, they can't be there for you. That's a reality that a lot of us have had to accept and move on and move forward with, as hard as it is. So I'm hoping that, I can continue to make videos that can kind of help you through this, Ava. I hope I'm saying that right. As Ava 17. And yes, I do have videos on grief as Ava 17. I will try to post those in the description box after I turn off live. And there's a pretty huge number of you watching now, so I want to make sure that I get to everybody before my battery dies and before it's time to close. So let me know your comments, your questions while we are still live. Thank you so much, Samira J. Love to you. Thank you for the hearts. The right group SEO says, it is obvious you love what you do. Thank you so much. And, oh geez, I'm going to mess this up. It's Ella. Okay. So it's the red icon with the A. Hi, I see you. I'm just really bad at this. So correct me if I'm wrong or somehow pronounce your name for me. I have no idea how to pronounce this, but I'm going to say, hello to you. Thank you so much for saying hi. So let me give you guys some tips on how to deal with this, okay? So number one, I think the way to get through pain and being alone during this time and having a dysfunctional family and feeling alone in an existential way is, consider the bigger picture. That's number one. I think when we lose sight of the bigger picture, I think that's when we fall into that state of existential loneliness. We fall into that state of depression. We fall into that state of feeling alone because we've lost sight of the bigger picture. We're looking at the small picture, which is I don't have family for Thanksgiving. I don't have the family I want for Thanksgiving. I don't have family for Christmas. I'm going to be alone on New Year's. I'm not married. I'm not dating. And we just go on and on and on and on and on. And so, I think that for most of us, we lose sight of the bigger picture, but keep in mind that bigger picture, which is you are not with your family for a particular reason, that you want a healthy mind, you want a healthy heart, you want a healthy soul. And the only way to have a healthy heart and soul is to get rid of that thing that's poisonous to you. So consider the bigger picture. The next thing is remember and affirm your values. Your values may be, I'm only going to love my family if they respect me. I'm only going to cherish my family if they recognize my potential, my values, my everything that I bring to the table. So remember and reaffirm your values. I think that keeps reality in the forefront of your mind. The next thing is, connect to other people in your world. Family is what you make it. And I talked about that in some of my most recent videos on this particular topic. It's what you make it, right? I've had tons of friends and colleagues that have been my family. I have immediate family, but my extended family is pretty, detached. And we're not as connected as I would like, but I've had colleagues that are wonderful family. I've had friends who are wonderful family, and I've had associates and people who have been clients to my family members who I love and care for and really want to make it in life, So family is what you make it. So consider other people in your world. The other thing that I suggest is commit to and kind of reevaluate your choice. So, commit to that. You've chosen to walk away. You've chosen to leave. You've chosen to move on. Reevaluate why. It's when you lose sight of that bigger picture that things get a little rocky, right? You get a little off point that way because you're going after what your heart wants and not what logically and rationally is the best decision for you. So commit to and reevaluate your choice to just be separate from them, okay? Because once Thanksgiving's over, Christmas is over, New Year's is over, you're most likely going to look at your family and say, oh my God, they're getting on my nerves again, or oh my God, they're abusing me again, or, they're really hurting me again, or like, why did I even reconnect? Why did I pick up the phone and call you? Just because it was Christmas, I'm so sorry. I've done that in the past, and I'm like, oh my God, why the heck did I text you? You know what I mean? So I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. So keep in mind why you made the choice. And lastly, I think avoid crossing lanes. Now, here's what I mean by that. I always tell my clients, stay focused on your lane. When you're in your car and you look over at somebody else, that gives you the potential to get jealous, envious, angry. Start looking at your life and saying, well, why isn't that me? When you're in your car and you're looking over at somebody else in their lane, that's a really good way to depress yourself. So the best thing to do, keep your eyes focused. That's all. Keep looking straight ahead and go your road. Stay on your journey, stay in your lane, however you want to put it. The moment you look over into somebody else's car, that's the moment things start to hurt a little bit more. Let me answer some of these. I have so many of you, so wonderful. Love you, love you. This person, Norma, says, will you be taking online consults? Yes. I'm going to be very honest. I'm really booked right now. So I do Monday through Thursday appointments from 9 to 9, and I'm literally stacked. Like I have no room. But what I will do is put in the description box after I turn off the live chat my email address. I will also put my website where you can sign up, and I will put you on my waiting list if you want to do that. So thank you for that question, Norma. I will do that. Natalie says, you really helped me learn more about narcissism, BPD, and CPTSD. Thanks. You're welcome, Natalie. I'm so glad to hear that. That's wonderful. And thank you so much for your comments on the channel and your support. I notice them. You guys are not just a number to me. I like every last one of you, and I feel like I connect to every last one of you. So I just want you to know that if I've never said that. Also, too, there is, so since we had a troll, YouTube is like censoring everything. So some of you may not see everyone's comments, and I will go back through and I will clear that so you can see. This is K Shine 2974, he or she says, I made the decision to finally walk away from my family last Christmas. I've been the family scapegoat for as long as I can remember. I believe you, and I think it's a good thing that you walked away. It's healthy. Keep it up. Don't look back if you are doing better. Felicia Share says, I feel forgotten all the time. I'm learning to love myself. Absolutely. It's a daily process. It's a daily process. When you wake up every day, you may have to remind yourself that I am in this position and I need to be okay with that. Remind yourself every day. You know, Felicia Share, sometimes I have to do it too. Thank you. The Right Group SEO. Queen E says, this is good. Taking notes. I think it's Marika Mom Point. She says, yes, Tamara, thank you for the love. I think this is Eleanor. Are you single? Oh, I am not going to answer that question because I've gotten so many questions like that. That's so sweet. I'll take that as a loving compliment. Thank you. But I will keep my truth to myself. Norma says, awesome. Thanks so much. You're welcome. Marika says, Tamara, I am planning to enjoy the holidays by myself. And I'm going to make a Christmas tree. Good for you. I love that. And I'm like that. I'll put on some hot cocoa, put on my bunny slippers. I have bunny slippers, I do. And I watch things and watch YouTube. I plan my future. I plan my business, everything. Like I do everything. I talk to my mom, my brothers, my family, the people I love. And it's wonderful, you know? So you guys are beautiful. I am going to pause here for a couple of reasons. One is because I want to post this video so you guys will have the replay. I want to give all the links. Secondly, my battery is dying. So, you know, streams pull on your battery. So I don't want it to cut off. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this chat. I'm going to end it, but I'm going to do more videos on this topic. I'm going to be out all next week for a vacation. I need it, an entire week vacation. So you're not going to see me live on YouTube, but I do have recorded videos I will be posting. So stay tuned for those. Samira J says, how to go about building community for oneself. Well, you know, that's interesting. I would say, you know, getting connected with community organizations. So like volunteering is good. I had a client volunteer for a homeless shelter and she met 3 good friends there, you know, just talking and like stacking boxes and things. She met 3 really good friends. So volunteering, I think going to like church, a non-judgmental, loving, very honest church. I'll put that out there. You want to go there and find community. You can go there and find community. You can also find some community through your psychotherapist. Ask your psychotherapist if you have one. You know, do you know people that I could connect with and be involved with, you know? I will talk more about that, so stay tuned, okay? That was a great question. Natalie says, thank you, you're welcome. And Gypsy Julie says, you are so authentic. Thank you so much, Gypsy, so sweet. And the Right Group says, awesome, thank you, you're welcome. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much for the support. I'm going to sign off now, and I will continue responding to your comments, probably as I'm driving home. Let's see. Ebony says, okay, very nice, Ebony. Thank you for that. Thank you. Searching for Truth says, this was a great session. Thank you so much. I was a little shaky with the troll that came in, but we did it. We did it as a team. So thank you so much. You're welcome, Felicia Share. No problem. Love you guys. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'll see you soon. Bye.